Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Yes, hello, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Joining myself, Robert, on the show this evening is the two seniors of Rangers Radio, Albert and the Bridgeman. Evening, Albert.
Evening, Robert. Bridge, how are you two doing?
I'm very well, mate. Thanks for asking. Bridgeman, how are you? He's already done it, Albert. He's already done it. 10 seconds in.
He's on mute again.
That's a personal best for you, Bridgeman. Here he comes.
I'm fine. I was just sitting down again. So, apologies. No, big good evening to yourself, Robert, and of course, Albert, and the two techie boys in the background. And to all the Rangers fans that are listening and all over the world, tragedy at Tannadice, that's all I can say. Good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Aye, well, it certainly almost was a tragedy last night, Albert. Come away with a 2-2 draw in a game that, let's be honest, we created a lot of chances. We never converted as many as we should, which is the same old story this season already. But we come away with a point when quite easily it could have been none.
Well, we came away with a draw, and we're all wondering how we didn't win the game. That's a good sign, and as much as we've made chances to win the game, because we were great in moaning about not making enough chances. Well, we did last night, but we proceeded to miss them all, bar one, then a penalty kick for the second one. But it's a better game to watch, put it that way, than Sunday's game. What's the Falkirk game? It's a better game to watch, if nothing else. The result's the same, dropping points. That's no good, mate. It's just simply no good enough. And let's be honest, it was quite a nice night, and the pitch was in excellent condition. So there was no real excuses for that point of view. It wasn't a cold, freezing, rainy, windswept December evening. It was quite a nice night, and the pitch was good, as I said. But some of the chances, mate, we'll talk about them, but some of the chances, good God, it's incredible. We find the different ways all the time, don't we? We just keep finding different ways to bugger this up. But at the end of the day, we were lucky to get away with a draw at the end up, but we should have won it. Easy, mate. Clearly should have won it, no bother.
Bridgeman, it's a theme we've said from the get-go this season. There's been games where we should be talking about victories, but we're talking about draws, and another one last night, as Albert says, plenty of chances created.
Every game was just horrendous, pal. They're just horrendous. And when I look at them, one week they're some of them are quite good. Another week you think, wow, what have we fallen down? We've fallen down at a good level here. But now we're really struggling, to be honest. They're struggling to find a bit of form. And with the lack of form comes all the mistakes and all the stupid things, and the ball's bouncing off your leg or your ankle or something like that. Simply because your match fitness isn't there. Well, I mean match fitness. I don't mean the ability to run. I mean the ability to bring the ball in, pull it down, trap the ball, whatever it is you need to do to get control, and then you can beat your man. Nah, we just don't seem able to do it. I think it's sad. But my pet hate, my absolute pet hate, is the centre halves going into the opposition half, and we did it a number of times last night and get caught out badly. So they need to stop that. They need to get themselves in the proper order. Forgive me, guys. That's just the way I see. That's the biggest problem we've got is the two centre halves run into the opposition half, and they don't know what they're doing with the ball when they get there, and that kills you. Sorry. That's depressing.
No, you make a good point there, mate, because obviously we go 1-0 down, and it actually comes from young Jaden McGoma pressing high up the left-hand side, which forces, in my opinion, Fernandez to come wide left. He should do better, Albert, defensively. Taking nothing away from the Dundee United player, he spins him well, uses his strength. It's a cute finish, but defensively, a big learning point for Fernandes.
See, I've heard a lot of people saying that he should have brought him down and he should have done this and that and the next. Like, remember what's happening here. It's Column's crony. If he touches him, even on the half line, if he touches him at all, he's getting sent off. And I'm thinking big boys realise that when I can't touch this boy. He can't catch him, but he can't foul him in any way, block him, foul him in any way. He's going to have to park. And from that point of view, I thought he showed a lot of maturity. He might be too high up the park, but that's the way we're playing at the moment. That's the way Rowe wants him to play. This high defensive line. But no, the boy took the goal well. Butler went down too early. I don't know what Butler was thinking about. He could have made that more difficult. And Jager's he's got to look at his Selkie. He maybe could have done better as well. But no, as far as Fernandes is considered, I thought the guy showed a real knowledge of the game. Going, if I can hear this boy, I'm going off. I know I'm going off. And you know the referees with Rangers, they'll definitely send him off. So he could have brought him down, and then we're down to 10 men for what 80 minutes of the game. So he chose not to bring him down, which was the right move. But if Jager had come over, he could have maybe fouled him then, knowing there's another guy covering you. But anyway, he didn't. But the boy took the goal well, albeit we made it pretty easy for him.
Bridgeman, you've obviously spoke about young Fernandes since he came to the club. You are wanting to see a lot more of him. He's had his chance now with injuries. How have you kind of rated his performances so far that he's been in the squad?
Well, he's the most improved player we've got at the moment. Some of our other players are going backwards. Albert painted a cracking picture there for us as to what the boy's like at the centre half. His timing's starting to get better. He's still big, gangly, but he's difficult to beat. But I mean, he got caught out last night. He just got caught out. The guy's pace right for the halfway line. He was running him all the way, and the big centre half just couldn't actually get that wee yard they needed to get in front or get closer to him. And that was a brilliant goal that guy scored. He nipped in, got goal side, chipped the goalkeeper. You can't ask for a better finish than that. It was just superb. And all on his own half. He just kept running into the box and chipped the keeper. Fabulous stuff. But we're talking about Glasgow Rangers. That shouldn't be happening. That just shouldn't be happening. That style of play, whatever it was, happened up the attacking end of the park. No, we must be able to defend as well. At the same time. But they're getting, shall we say, pulled in, and I'm afraid we have to do something about that. We shouldn't be getting pulled in at these levels. In my opinion, neither of the two centre halves should be in the opposition half at any time unless they're going to intervene and intercept the ball. Other than that, they should be staying in their own half and watching the game and watching what they're going to do when the game comes up. Because they're standing just off the line and in their own half, and the goalkeeper's got his orders. He's going to thump the ball up there. And any of the guys that have got it with a chance, they'll batter it up the park as well. And it's going to come flying over the top. And we're not going to be watching it. For some reason or other, we're not going to be watching it. We have to stay in our own half when these things happen and back up. Back up when the goalie's going to kick it. And then you'll get freedom of the park to get the ball. That's what I say anyway.
Oh, but what I will say is, after we went 1-0 down, I thought we responded pretty well. We put a bit of pressure on Dundee United's defence, started to kind of get some balls in the box, create some chances. And obviously the goal comes later on in the game through young Jaden McGoma, who, to be fair, it's some finish from a left back, and he's only got one foot in his mind as soon as that ball drops to him. But probably the most unlikely scorer to get his back into the game at that point, given how much pressure we're putting on that defence.
It was an absolute beauty. They'll not get to take it away from the boy. It was an absolute peachy goal. And he fully intended. He just corrected beautifully. It struck it beautiful. And by the way, the boy is a wing back. I've heard he's not a left back, he's a wing back. So you'd expect it to be a wing back to hit that kind of ball. That's what we've been arguing about, and not so much arguing, but talking about and complaining about with quality. No, that's a touch of quality right there. You can see you can see quality Everybody can see it. And that boy showed real quality there. I thought the wee boy had a decent enough game last night. Enjoy watching that wee guy. So aye, it's a good goal back into the game, and for a wee spell, I thought we took control of the game. I don't think they were troubling us that much, to be honest with you, Robert. I don't know how you felt yourself, but I don't think they were troubling us that much.
I wouldn't say they're troubling us too much from any other team that we've played of recent, but they certainly found a weakness down our left side. They're using the boy Sansford quite a lot, kind of going down their right side. The boy Fata on the opposite side, he had Tavernier in his pocket for quite a lot of the game, which again will come on to the subs later on. But I thought their two wingers gave them an out ball and they utilised them well to try and create space in behind us, which is a weakness. But when they did get their chances, I don't want to say I wasn't concerned they were going to score, but I think it just emphasised the defensive frailties that we've still got and we need to address before even we consider January going forward.
I don't think they created that many chances myself, mate. I mean, I don't remember Butland making that many saves. So they looked threatening, but they really weren't threatening, if you want to know what I mean. But the two fullbacks, that's the way we play in it. The two fullbacks away up the park. I don't particularly like that system myself. I don't understand it, to be perfectly honest with you, especially in your centre halves. No, they're reasonably quick. I was going to say they're lightning quick. This is two centre halves. They're reasonably quick, but they're not as quick as wingers. Put it that way. And if you get speedy wingers, speedy forwards, any speedy forwards, they're going to struggle to catch them with this high line. But again, this is the way they want to play. I don't understand why we play this way, but that's the way we want to play. But aye, overall in the first half, I thought we'd done okay, mate. To be perfectly honest with you. But you're right about Tav. I mean, that boy was giving him a hell of a time. The boy had a good game. Got to give him his credit where it's credit's due. The boy did have a good game.
But I will say though, and kind of not in a defensive tab, I don't think it was helped defensively by Gassama's defensive work rate, kind of offering support, tracking runners, kind of going two up on a player. It was kind of exposed to Tavernier, but a guy of his experience probably could have dealt with him better. It's not his best of games he's had. I think maybe the pace and the age of Tav was kind of shown last night, Bridge, just because the boy had him most of that game, kind of in his pocket, as I said, getting away from him, cutting in behind. And Tavernier just almost at times, once he was by him, never looked like he was going to get back.
I'm sad to say I find that a lot with Tavernier. He's a man that's lots of talent still, but I'm afraid to stay at the top with Rangers, well, considering the players he's playing around, he'll always have a game at Rangers if that's the quality of player we've got on our team. But Tav is a pale shadow of the man that was 2 seasons ago. Pale shadow. Still capable of doing things, but I'm afraid that he needs to be ordered to leave the ball alone, because he's taking that responsibility of taking corners and free kicks, and if they don't come off, well, you know yourself, you played football, sometimes you could actually kick your own foot. You could just stand on your toe just to get waking up, what you're doing. It's just, I just don't understand it with Tav. But he's there, he's a captain, and 12 months ago we were saying Tav shouldn't be here. This should be his last season, and so on and so forth. And here he is. And I don't know where he is in the scoring leagues now, but he's probably scored a couple of goals for us, which is far more than any other player. So I'm not making too many jokes about it. I don't think Tav should be playing for us, and that's my honest opinion. I don't think he should be playing for us. I don't think he's ready to play football. That's what I think.
It's an interesting point, albeit, because obviously Mark Sands come on from him, as I said, we'll touch on it a wee bit later in the show, but Mark Sands did come on for him at right back. We've not seen the best of him in a Rangers jersey, so if you're not playing Tav, which there was a time under Russell Martin where he dropped Tavernier, and we did play Aarons, but we were quick to kind of go back and say, no, we need Tav back in there. So it poses a question of, if it's not Tav, then who?
Yeah, this is a problem, and it's the problem we've got since the beginning of the season. It's the recruitment. We're back to it again. Tav shouldn't be played. but there's nothing. There's nobody that can replace him. That doesn't say. Having said that, it doesn't mean that Tav doesn't need replaced. He still needs replaced. There's no getting away from it. The guy's time's up. He's battling away in there, and there isn't anybody to take his position. That's an indictment on the recruitment. That's got nothing to do with the fact that he's playing. He's played for one reason only, because the recruitment's crap. If he had to go to the recruitment half right, even 3/4 right, you'd have seen a big difference. You'd have seen Tav resting on the bench, coming on, playing the odd game. The guy would have out with a bit of dignity, with good memories. He'd even thought he'd still held in high regard. But at the moment now, every game he's playing now, and every game we're no winning, Tav's getting his share. Sometimes over criticised. Sometimes he's getting his share of criticism now for something that really, honestly, his legacy shouldn't be like that. He should be walking out the club going top goal scorer for a right back ever in the league, ever. Probably never going to be equalled. I think he's won the European record like that as well. I mean, it's remarkable, absolutely remarkable. We'll never be seen again out Tav's achieved scoring wise. Absolutely not. Defending, well, he's not a defender, is he? Let's be honest. But his record for scoring and all that. But now he's past it, and everybody gets there. There's nothing you can do about it. Time waits for no man, as the old saying goes. And it's a fact of life. We all just need to face up to it. But we've got him in the team because it shows you the calibre of player that's in behind him. There isn't anybody there that can take his position off him. And that's Tav playing bad is better than you playing good. That's basically what we're saying.
I kind of probably sums up pretty well, to be fair there. So we go obviously again half time, one each, and I think it'd probably be a fair result, would you say, guys? Half time draw, fair.
Aye,
result?
aye, pretty much. Missed a couple of setters right enough, but apart from that.
Aye, certainly. As I said, we created the chances and they were there to be taken. Again, the quality was lacking in terms of in front of goal, but we come out the second half, and the first big chance we get is Danilo with an overhead kick, Bridgeman, that he smacks off the bar, and I might be a bit critical here. I think it's harder to hit the bar from that distance than it is to hit the net, if I'm being honest, if I'm being critical, but should he score? Is it harsh to say he should have scored?
Well, I think he should have 1 or 2 goals last night, in my opinion. That one was a fabulous attempt. Let's put it that way. And there's no, when you're doing overhead kicks, you've just got to hit it, and it's got to be luck as well, because all you want to do is maybe a couple of inches lower with the ball, and it's in. Very, very unlucky. Or even coming down straight and getting somebody putting it in, or the ball going backwards. Anything like that. A wee bit of luck. But unfortunately, he never had that. But what a fabulous acrobatic jump and kick the ball like that. It's super duper. That's quality that a lot of people can't do. It's got all the timing, it's got everything there. So the guy's capable of doing it. So we've got someone in the team that can actually do these wonderful overhead kicks. And somewhere along, I think it was only for about maybe 9 yards or something like that. He managed to get it. Even if it a yard out, it may have went a bit lower. Anything like that. No, I'm very delighted with him. But with that incident, but seriously, we're struggling. Even Danilo's struggling, and he knows it. He's struggling badly. How do we get Danilo to play football? The only thing you're going to get him to play football is you need to keep playing him. I've said this about a lot of these players. You've got to keep playing him because he's rusty. He's rusty as hell. He's had some serious injuries, and it's okay saying, well, he played there and there. No, he needs to play constantly. Same as that big Chermiti or whatever his name is, the centre forward. He needs to play football. His legs are never going to get right, and his head and his coordination's always going to be wrong. It looks as if he's towing a caravan sometimes, that boy, but he's quite fast, that Chermiti. But he's put it all together, and that's the bit you need to talk about match fitness. It all comes together. All the confidence is in you. Your legs are right, your head's right, and away you go. You'll play football, and you've got 11 players in the park that can do that. Your quid's in. We're no there yet.
being a Brazilian, that Danilo is the only one that can play a wall pass off the bar. He's trying to play wall passes off the bar. I mean, just put the ball in the net, so stop mincing about.
Arguably, you could say against the run of play, Dundee United go in front for the second time. Again, we kept the pressure up. We did put some decent balls into the box. We did create some chances. But when you don't take them, mate, you get punished. As I said, Dundee United go 2-1 up. The boy Fata, who we mentioned, had a good game already.
Good goal.
Picks up the ball. Bajrami has a kind of tug of the jersey. He gets away from him. Raskin gets blocked off. Goes down looking for a free kick, and then for the life of me, Nasser Jiga opens up like a car door and just shows him the way to go.
See, see that one goal. That just sort of sums up a team that are no going after a league. See when the boy gets the ball. We were struggling to clear that. There's 2 or 3 corners, I believe, and we're struggling to clear the ball out the area. So we're mincing about, and the pressure's building. Then it gets to that point. So you get Bajrami coming out, easily brushed aside. You get Raskin not being able to get there, and then the boy cuts in, and he's going to cross the penalty area. But if you watch every single one of the Rangers players, now we've had Gasman in that same position. We've had other players in that position running across that line. And if you watch other teams and they're defending against us, they're defending for their life, mate. People are throwing bodies in front of that ball. But if you watch us, we're all done as spectators and watching the boy going across. And you know the shot's coming. Everybody knows the shot's coming. Then he finally gets a shot away. I'm not taking nothing away for the guy's goal. It's a cracking goal. The guy deserved it. It's a beauty of a goal. Right? But you look at your defending. The whole team. I know the centre half still get the blame it, but it's the whole team. Nobody's throwing their body in to block that ball. Nobody's throwing their body at him to block him. They're all just jockeying along. See, if you're truly committed to winning a league, truly committed to winning a game, you're doing everything to stop that boy getting that shot away. It's everything you can to. But we didn't. We just stood back and watched them doing it, and the guy strokes it in the bottom corner. And that's the difference, mate. This is the big problem with our team. This is the big problem with the players we've got in the squad we've got. They're no looking like they want to win games. They're trying to win games, but they're not actually committing themselves to win games. And we'll go to some of the misses. The same problem applies to some of the misses. They're not actually committing themselves to the ball. They're not actually wholeheartedly going for it. It's sort of half-hearted and, I nearly got there nonsense. If you truly, truly want to win leagues, truly, truly want to win games, you've got to be all in, mate. All in, all the time. Anyway, I jumped ahead there. Sorry, pal.
No, you're absolutely right. Well said as well. Well said.
Oh, you've set me up nicely, mate, because I'll go to Bridgeman with it. A topic that's been discussed the past few games has been the timing of Danny Rowe's kind of substitutes. 11 minutes after going 2-1 behind, he makes 3 changes and brings on Aarons, Chermiti and Diamondi. The big chance, obviously, Gassama's got a chance to kind of level the game. For me, as Albert says, he doesn't go fully committed to scoring. He nudges the ball towards the post. He then makes an attempt with his left foot, low and soft, not even low and hard. If he lifts it into the roof of the net, it's a goal. He kind of fires it back at Danilo, who's not set. But the big one, mate, is Chermiti. That free header, and it doesn't even make contact.
I mean, this is what we're saying. See, if he actually throws himself at that ball, instead of waiting for the ball to hit off his head, and that's what it looked like, and it goes by the post. You're saying, if you're a true centre forward, truly committed to what your cause, truly committed to this team, there's no way that ball's not going in that net. No chance. But he looks half-hearted. He looks lack of confidence. You can get all the excuses under the sun. But the bottom line is that's bread and butter for any centre forward at any level. You just put that away. You don't even hesitate. You just put that away. But there's about 4 chances. That's about the worst one. But there's about 4. Danilo had the crossbar one, and then he had the one where Gasman cuts back and he fluffs that one. But in the first half, he had one where Miovski headers it down. Raskin knocks it to him, and he fluffs his shot there and on. And then Barron missed a sitter as well. Barron's coming onto that ball in the first half, if you remember. I think it was Gasman cut it back to him. And it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. He's running right onto it. There's no hassle. He's nobody's on his back. Nobody's coming out to block him. Oh, a class player just walks onto that ball. Doesn't smash it, mate. Just places the ball and scores. Either to the left, to the right, or into the roof of the net. Whatever you want to do, mate. And you do it. Instead of that, he runs on like an amateur and does a big wild smash, a big slash at it, and blitters it right out of the bar. And you're saying, well, this is the class we're talking about. This is the quality of player that you've no got. You're going, there's no need for you to do that. Absolutely no. If you want to see how it's done right, watch the Fulham game, the goal that Boy scored. The exact same position. Boy cuts the ball back, he's running on it. Watch what he does. Just smooth as anything. Puts his foot right through the ball. Doesn't he try to smash it? Puts his foot right through the ball and guides it right into the bottom corner. A beautiful goal. You say that's why it's done. That's quality. What we've got is amateur night at Ibrox or at Tannadice. It's crap, mate. These boys need to show more quality in this. I don't think they've got the quality. We had a wee bit of quality in Bajrami last night, mate. A wee bit of quality during the game. And it shows you the difference. And that quality actually produced most of the chances. Either a pass to somebody to cross the ball, or he's doing it himself. That one player showing that wee bit of quality made a huge difference to it. Could you imagine if all the players start showing quality, or they all start buying in and start getting committed to this? Can you imagine what kind of team you could end up having? But the question is, have they got it in them? We know Bajrami is a quality player. It's always been about his attitude. Can he be annoyed? Because he sometimes does wee silly balls that you're going, that's half-hearted pass. That's what are you doing? He's thinking it's a smart pass. We're seeing it as half-hearted. But he's got a quality all over him. He is a good player. So where has he been? Where's he been for the last 18 months since his contract started at Ibrox? Where has he been? Why is he not in these teams? Why is every manager that's ever had him at Ibrox don't want to play him? He needs to ask the question or answer the question. We've been wanting these quality players. Why are they not showing up? Why are they just living at Ibrox and under a wee safety blanket sitting going, this is nice here, I quite like it here. You don't really have to play that much and you get top dollar. It's not right, mate. It's just not right what's happening. But the quality is there. Sorry, mate. I'm ranting again.
No, you're fine, mate. I'll go to Bridgeman, because for his favourite subject of refereeing decisions. Bridgeman, 8 seconds left on the clock. We get a penalty. First of all, do you think it was a penalty? And then secondly, Tav's off the park, looking for somebody to take responsibility. Bajrami steps up, give me the ball, and he puts it away and gets us a draw.
Well, first I thought it was a penalty. I didn't have any problems with the thought of a penalty. Secondly, I never expected him to take it, to be honest, but he did. And I thought, what a cracking penalty. Nobody's going to argue with that. That's absolutely brilliant, top notch. I don't know, we took Tav off and we were left with nobody to take a penalty, and the guy stood up to take it. So you can't take it in away from there, and he did it. But if we had other players on the park last night with the same type of attitude, you might not had to do that. I think we should have scored 3 or 4 goals last night. Truth be told, maybe even 4 or 5 if you get what I mean. We had them on the ringer, but when their breakaways got us a bit of a tizzy as well. But I just thought we should have beat them by a lot more goals. Well, a lot more goals than we scored. We ended up getting I'd say we were lucky because of the timing, and we got an equaliser. But I don't think we were lucky to get a draw. To me, take it in. We were a far better team than Dundee United, and especially after they scored their first goal, I thought we were brilliant. We looked brilliant. Let's put it that way. But when you don't get your result and they start to fall over, and you can see the bad passes and the mistimed tackles and the bad headers and so on and so forth, and you're missing the ball, you're not talking to each other. When you see all that, and you realise how far behind our club and football players are among. I mean, Dundee United at times gave us a soccer lesson. the same as it was the other week with Falkirk. For God's sake, you know, some of our players were getting schooled again, and that's not right for Rangers. Not right. So as far as I'm concerned, we need to make sure the ones we've got, if we like them, we make sure they're trained up in every possible way, and no excuses. And when they're rotten, drop them and get somebody at the youth team, put them in. That's what I say.
Of course, as I said, Bajrami gets the ball and he gets the penalty and converts it. He gets us a 2-2 draw. But obviously this is a phone-in show, so it'd be good to hear for the listeners out there. So what we'll do, guys, if you get yourself on mute, we'll hear from Nadim Bajrami after the game last night, and then we'll get the phone lines opened.
So David, how much pressure did you feel stepping up for that last minute penalty?
I think I have a lot of experience to take this penalty and my confidence is here. So I took the penalty and I scored, and I was happy to help the team. I
mean, it's been a frustrating season for you, having to wait a long time for your chance. I mean, you must be determined to make the most of every minute you get in the pitch right now. Yeah, the past is the past, and I'm back in the squad and happy to help the team with this, with my performance. But obviously, a draw here is not good enough for us. So we're looking forward for the next game and try to win and to score goals.
Can you sense the tension and the anger sometimes from the Rangers supporters?
Yeah, obviously they are used to win every game, and we know what we have to do. We know what is our job, and we are working on this. So Saturday next game, we need to watch what we can do better and improve.
Does it affect the players?
Obviously we have a lot of new players, but I think they have a lot of experience and they can handle this pressure. So yeah.
The manager said when he came in that it was a fresh, a clean slate for everyone. But did you sense this was a big opportunity for you when he came in, that you could get yourself back into the team now?
Yeah, I spoke with him in the beginning when he came, and we had a chat. So I was away national team. I think I played well against England, came back, had my chance. Happy to be back, and this is football. 3 months ago I was away. Now I'm back, so yeah. Did you think at any stage your Rangers career might be coming to an end over the summer when the manager at that point wasn't picking you so much? No, I was always focused on Rangers, and this is football. Sometimes you need to be mentally strong. I was, I think, strong enough to handle this situation, so yeah.
How did you deal with that situation? Is there people within the squad that you spoke to, or people in the game that you spoke to help you through that difficult period?
No, I think we have good guys like Tav, Raskin, and they was always here for me. They helped me, so I try to help them now on the pitch, and yeah.
It must be difficult. You want to play a part. You see the team are struggling early on. You want to be there to help your team, but when you're sitting in the stand or not getting on the pitch, you know, how did you deal with that?
Obviously you train the whole week and then you are not in the squad. Was not really nice for me, but how I said, I trained always good. I give my best for this club, and how I said, I'm happy to be back and to help the team.
What's the biggest changes you've seen since the new manager came in?
Yeah, I think 6 games unbeaten now. Obviously tonight we need to win. We had a lot of chances. We create more chance than the last game. We need to stick now together, and how I said, we have a lot of games now. This is the past and we need to look forward.
How confident are you? You know, you said a draw is not good enough for Rangers at Tannadice. How confident are you that you can get the results from here on, you know, that you feel you should be getting?
Yeah, we know it's difficult here to comment, but I think we played better than the last game. We created more chances. They didn't had any great chance tonight. 2 chances to goal. We created a lot. We need to score up front, but we know what we can improve, and we need to look forward now.
Do you feel that, you know, the goals you lost were way too easy? You know, the first one is just a simple ball over the top. The second one, I think maybe 3 or 4 guys could have challenged the player before he shot. Is that a concern that the way the goals were let in? Yeah, I think both goals we can defend better, but we showed character at the end. And how I said before, we created much more. So I think the last final step up front in goal, we need to be more there and to score these goals, to want to score these goals.
Do you see the quality in the 3 strikers to suggest that those goals will come for each of them?
Yeah, I know they have quality, and it's just how I said, the right moment to be there and to score these goals and to come with confidence at the game and to don't think too much.
Do you think confidence is a problem for those three strikers?
It's not always the strikers. I think if we help them from behind to get these balls up front, they're gonna score.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks for that, folks. If you've got a point or a thought about the game or anything at all related to our club, of course, give us a call and we can put it to the panel, Bridgeman and Albert tonight. If you've got any points as well on Facebook or YouTube you want to comment, stick them on the feed and we'll do our best to try and pick a few out and discuss them as well if you're unable to phone in. Albert, if the last answer you gave there, it's not just the strikers and he's right. We've said it many times in this show, it's a team game. It's evident they're not scoring enough. AK's mentioned it a few times with the goals scored in so many league games. But when you're right back still your top goal scorer, it's alarm bells that are ringing. But Bajrami's right. It's about the service and those in behind to contribute and not just rely on the three strikers.
If your right back's your top goal scorer and you're sitting top of the league with 9 points ahead, you're not really care, do you? It's one of these situations. It's because we're sitting, we're behind in the league, we're out of the League Cup, we're practically out of Europe, and we're not playing well. So we were saying before this game that we were only creating enough chances, so we can't actually put the spotlight on the centre forwards, for example. Because we're not creating enough. That's the midfield and the wingers. They're not creating. Well, last night they did create a lot of good chances, and every single one of our centre forwards missed a sitter. Not just missed a chance, missed a sitter. So we've now in the spotlight. They brought the spotlight on themselves, the centre forwards now, because they can't miss these kind of chances. And then they're not getting a service, because that's what we were saying. That's what I was saying. You can't judge these centre forwards because they're not getting the service. You can last night because that was disgraceful. The finishing was disgraceful last night. Absolutely disgraceful. We used to win the game out of sight, mate. Out of sight, and then we could argue about the 2 goals we lost and saying they were a bit sloppy, blah, blah, blah. Instead of that, we're concentrating on the goals we lost and say to yourself, well, we should have been scoring plenty of goals. We can't have it. Well, the forwards, they can't have it both ways, mate. You're either greeting that you're not getting enough chances. That's why you're not scoring. But you can't agree when you do get the chances and miss sitters. And they were sitters, mate. Let's be honest. They're not half chances. They're sitters. And we missed 4 of them. And Barron missed 1 as well. Disgraceful, mate. This is no what we're looking for. This is no Rangers quality. And this, we've got to win every game. Every team's got to win every game. And if drawing every team's not acceptable, not just Rangers. We need to get this into our head. That for us to win a game, we need to fight harder than the team we're playing. Forget about the football side of it. We just need to fight harder. That's the first thing. If they're fighting, we fight harder. If they're running, we run harder. That's just the way it is at Rangers. You've got to face up to that, rather than say, "Oh, we know we'll need to win." How are you going to do that if you're not running harder than the guy you're playing against? The guy's out fighting you, out muscling you in every department. How are you actually going to win the game? So these are sort of things that should be getting asked. The questions that we're getting asked there is just divisive questions. We're just trying to drive a wedge between they're trying to make a bad situation even worse by asking that type of question and trying to be divisive to the squad. He's going to watch what way he answers it, because if he answers it the wrong way, Bajrami says that the Rangers centre forwards are not good enough to play for Ray. You know the headlines that are going to follow it. But it's a case of the centre forwards need to have a look at themselves in the mirror this morning. Say to yourself, "Oh, that was bad. That was bad." I mean, they were sitters, Robert. You go to admit they were sitters.
Aye, they were, mate. And if you just take the 3 strikers alone in isolation, looking at the shots that they've had, Danilo had 5, Chermiti 1, and Miovski 1. What I will say about Miovski is I thought he worked well off the ball, but the issue I found, Bridgeman, don't know if you saw it, when he came deep for the ball, he was leaving that space in between the 2 centre halves vacant. There was no runs from Danilo, Gassama, Bajrami tried to come inside quite a bit, but there was nobody going into that space. So when Miovski's getting the ball deep, you're looking for somebody to stretch the game in behind. But that's Miovski's game. Miovski is a better striker in behind than what Danilo is. So again, we weren't really playing to the strengths for them. But the most shots last night was Bajrami 7, Gassama 5, and then Judy Magoma 3. So what does that kind of tell you, Bridgeman, that we're creating chances, but how many are actually getting created for the strikers if you want to look at them as isolation?
No, I don't think we're striking. The squad of players that we've got for strikers up front are anywhere near good enough. And that there may be a number of other reasons for that. But it might just be that they're not at top of good enough quality. But I like Miovski. I liked him when he was in this league. I thought Rangers should have went and when he was leaving there to go abroad, I thought Rangers maybe should have went in and bought him. But Aberdeen. But you know what I'm like? I don't really like us doing that. However, I think I would have hemmed and hawed because I thought, but we haven't seen Miovski at his best yet. And I don't know whether that's he's never had a pre-season with us or anything like that, you know. So we just don't know. Maybe got a fitness problem, anything at all. But I think he's been a good player in this league, and he's played well against us a number of times, and I think he's a good player. So when you add all that up, he's still not doing it for us yet. That's the biggie. I think he scored 1 goal. I think he had two or three good chances last night, to be honest. But the point you were making about him coming back, he shouldn't be coming back. We shouldn't have someone in our front line running back 30, 40, maybe even 50 yards to get the ball and pass it to somebody. That's sort of nonsense. Well, for me anyway. You guys can maybe see it as okay. Personally, I think it's a terrible thing that your centre forwards having to come, thinks and feels he has to come running out to do something. That means that he thinks somebody else is not doing it. Now, obviously, the manager is going to see these things and do whatever he can about it. But for me, I like Miovski. I like the boy, the big fella, come on as centre forward. But really, he doesn't seem to be doing himself any favours in your club. So, I think there's going to be changes as far as he's concerned.
I think for
me, that chance Miovski's had, mate, that one he had in the first half. That's a simple chance, mate.
Absolutely,
for a guy
absolutely.
All he needs to do is get his foot on it. Just put your foot on it. Any decent connection on it's a goal. Instead of that, I don't know, and then it scuffed his foot and it went to the keeper or whatever it happened. You're looking at him and saying, if you're playing for Aberdeen, you're throwing yourself for that, mate. There's no way that ball is going to get by him without him getting something on it. With Rangers, it's we'll just nearly go out there a wee half-hearted attempt to try and get on the end of the ball. I want these players to commit to it. I want to show that everything, heart and soul, is getting put into this. Throw yourself at the ball. Don't score the goal. Throw yourself at the ball and get the ball in the net. Instead of that, it was just one of the wee half-hearted jobs. Same as Big Shermati, half-hearted hero. It's not good enough. Just not good enough. If they want to stay at Rangers, they need to start scoring, mate. And they need to start Saturday, because they showed you that they're getting the chances. If we keep this up and create these chances, they'll get more chances. But we can't afford to be missing the chances they're missing. That's criminal, mate. That's just criminal. So we greeted the defence. We slaughtered Butland last year. We greeted with our centre halves. We greeted with our fullbacks. We greeted with our midfield no creating. We greeted with our wingers are cutting back too much. So the centre forwards are getting chances now, and it's only one game, but there were 3 sitters, each one of them. Only picking one each for them, but there was 3 sitters, and none of them scored. It's hopeless, mate. That's just hopeless. Anyway, that's me. I'm done with centre forwards.
It's heartbreaking, Albert. That's what I feel.
Isn't it half, mate? Isn't it half, mate? It bring tears to a glass eye. It really would.
The old ones come back in again. Well done.
As you'll know, as strikers, obviously you've seen it throughout the years, as you know. A striker at Rangers, no matter what value they're bought in for or whether it's a free transfer, ultimately that's where you're judged as a Rangers striker, is your goal scoring form. You might be a great football player linking up the play, but everybody will always look at your goals scored and your record there, and that's something that the three strikers have to kind of deal with. Chermiti obviously gets a lot because of the value on his head, which is not his fault. Let's be honest, that's something out with his control. Danilo, at this stage last season, was third choice striker, and now we're asking him to kind of be almost a mainstay in the guy to lead us forward. So they've got pressure already being a Rangers striker, but as I said, that's where they're judged on their careers, if they're banging him in and getting his wins rather than draws, especially when they've got the creation there for them.
Well, you're looking them to sniff around the 18-yard mark. You're looking them to be in there. When's the last time you've seen a centre forward toe poking a ball for 3 yards, 2 yards? They're all sniffing about, balls breaking about, bouncing about, bang, goal. McCoy used to do it all the time, things like that. You never see it now. They're always on the periphery of the game. They're always outside they're at the back post, but the ball's coming in at the front post, or at the front post, the ball goes in at the back. They're never in the right place at the right time. They've no instincts to it. McCoy said it about Chermiti the other week there. He's not got an instinct to be a centre forward. It's just no there with the boy. You've either got that or you've no got it. Some players have got it. McCoy said it. All the great strikers have got it. But you look at our strikers. Look at when Gaspar was good down the first half down the right-hand side. Watch him when he's heading towards the byline for a change, but he's getting there. If you watch Miowski's movement, he's coming towards him, and he's bringing a centre-half and a midfielder with him to the front post. You're going, stop, just start the run, but stop. Let them run away for you. If you watch the great ones, like some of the ones down in England, watch why they make space for themselves, leading up to the box and in the box. It's just stop. Sometimes it's good just to stand still and the ball comes to you. Instead of that, we're always in the wrong place. And then Gaspar does his chop back. You've made your run, you're out of position, then he's still chopping and domain people, and you're going, well, eventually he'll get to whatever he's going to be doing, whether it's a shot or whether it's going to be a cross. Nobody actually knows what that boy's going to be doing, not even him. But Ronaldo used to do it. I'm not comparing him to Ronaldo, but Ronaldo used to do it with Man U. But it was Smith that got that nonsense out of him, this chopping and changing. It was Van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy says, I don't know when to make my run. I don't know when you're actually going to deliver the ball. And Miowski's going through a bit of that. But he needs to hold his wingers and say, look, I need to start knowing when you're going to fire this ball to make a run. But the instincts are not there at the moment. It's miles away. We don't look dangerous, and we're not causing defences big problems, especially in the rain area. And that's all because of the movement. Not just for the movement, but it's a big part of it.
Bridgeman, is that just a criticism of the modern game that with strikers nowadays aren't goal scoring strikers? They don't sit at the penalty spot. They like to come and get involved in the play. They don't just sit and wait for tap-ins. They like to be involved, link up, play, and score the perfect goal rather than just keeping it simple. Is that just the modern game and how it's evolved?
Well, there's probably a bit of that in it, but in my opinion, it's down to pure. To me, the way our midfield, let's call them the midfielder, they've got 10, 15 yards to find their man. And half the time we're playing back in our own half, and then they've got to trickle the ball to the midfield. And by the time they turn round, there's a couple of their midfielders on them, and they have to find a pass, and you end up with a stupid 30, 35-yard pass into a crowd of players and think, well, go on, Gazman, you go and get that. No, they're never going to get it. There's too many men in there. You need to be able to do the lovely wee passes or the really fast pass straight to their feet, wherever they are. And chances are they'll lose it because they'll be crowded out. But you need to be able to make play in the midfield and create the runs, or create the time and the space for the guy to get his run, so that he can see where you can pass the ball, because you can both see each other. But don't you be caught with, as Albert says, don't you be caught with two men running about you, because no matter what you do with the ball, if you're going to get to me, I'm going to get leather to you with these two guys. So you need to be good. You can see when we make passes. You can see ourselves when we're running. and you get the guys running maybe slightly inside left he's got a bit of space on the ball. Give him the ball, let him play, let him go and do his play, and then see what happens. And we're forced. I think that's a good word for it. We're forcing it, and it's not there. It's just not there. We don't have players that can actually do that lovely pass with everything about it. You know, you're gauging where your player is, and you make that gorgeous pass between the defenders and away. But you know, watch other teams with us, and they can do it with us. They can do that against us. Lovely passes on the ground or over the top, and we're the ones that end up in trouble with ourselves because we don't know how to play their game. And we shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't be the people that's worried about who we're playing. We should never be worried about who we're playing. Be conscious of who we're playing, but don't be worried about them because we want to play football and take the ball off them and score. I'm not doing it. So that was a bit long, that one.
That's the problem, Bridge. Teams don't fear playing us now. We are now concerned about playing them, which, as you said, shouldn't be the case. Historically, you should always think, oh, we are playing Rangers. That's going to be a doing, especially at Ibrox. And it's a sad state of affairs that's not the way teams see us anymore. And it just emphasises of the kind of position we're in. But I'll put a point to you that's Thomas has made out on Facebook. And I'll go to yourself first, Albert, and then I'll ask Bridge. Thomas says we need a motivator, either on the park and or off the park. Is it correct?
Oh, aye, definitely, mate. It's somebody with the will to win. It's somebody with the drive, those shouting and balling, not necessarily shouting ball when you need to shout and ball, but it's somebody that needs to be the respect, they all respect. Because you can shout and ball and try and be a motivator, but people nobody respects you. They're all just saying, "Oh, aye, there he's away." He's when one of his rants or one of his shouting and balling. But the only way you gain respect that I see in professional football is actually being able to play the game to a high level consistently. Because any of the great players are all get respect. Why? Because they're brilliant players. They show you they're brilliant players. They just don't talk about being a brilliant player or he's done something brilliant. As Ox keeps saying, a moment's player. Good players stay in games for 90 minutes. They might not be running about crazy for 90 minutes, but that's what inspires other players running about them. And when they talk, people listen because they know they're good. They know that they're not just BSs. They actually can play the game and show you how it should be done. It's all motivation. It's all about. It's the will to win. If you've got the will to win on a football park, or any sport for that matter, if you've got a will to win, it's infectious, mate. It rubs off on other people. If you've got that determination, people will call it motivation, call it what you want, but it's that will to win. And last night, if we had that, well, it started, I seen a wee glimmer of it with Bajrami and wee Gazman started getting involved as well. And you can see it. This is what you do. This is what you nurture. This is what you want to bring on. This is what you want the rest of them to do. We're Raskin's got it, but Raskin's that busy trying to play everybody else's game that he's taking away from his own game. Just concentrate what you're doing yourself, son. Big Fernandez will have it as well once he settles down and gets a bit of experience under his belt. He's no fear, the big man. He's maybe not the best centre half in the world, but one thing he wants to do, he wants to play for Rangers, and he wants to improve, and he's no fear to take the responsibility on. This is the sort of players you need. No, you just need to go out and prove it on the park now. Shows with performances. So I agree, you do need motivation. You definitely need. The manager will not get respect until the results start going your way and we start climbing tables and start competing in competitions, properly competing. Really competing, and you're saying, oh, we've got a chance of winning the league, we've got a chance of winning this, that, or the next thing. At the moment, you're sort of hoping somebody's going to do something, or hoping the team's going to come in. That's no motivational, mate. That's just, it's a route to the loony farm, mate. That can down that road. But I agree with the boy. Motivation's a big thing. It really is a big thing. But you can't buy it. It's got to be there.
Same point to you, Bridgeman. Motivator, either on and or off the park. And I'll add a second point in. Do you see MD in our current squad that can provide that?
Well, there's two types of motivators on the pitch, pal. You've got your leader who does it just by sheer character, force of character, and people want to copy them or run with them, and the guy's going to get your mad up or get your wild up each time, that kind of thing. And then you've got the other one who can motivate you by good play. They're good play. They're good players, and they can do things with the ball. And Rangers had that way for a long time with Barry Ferguson and Ian Ferguson. Ian Ferguson was brilliant, great breaker upper, and then Hurlock after him. They were Terry Hurlock. These were great players, and they sort of built confidence in the players around about them that if anything came here, they're going to take it. And that's all there is to it. And they did. They were very successful, and that helps. That's huge motivation in any team because people lift themselves up, and they'll go in for the tackles as the game goes on. They'll go in for the tackles as well. And I think we Fergie was tremendous at that. He could create a bit of motivation for the other players around about him. And Barry Ferguson, of course, was Barry Ferguson. He could lift any team up, you know. So that's the way I look at it. You've got that different types of players that give you the exude confidence, make you feel good, make the team feel good, make everybody feel good when we get the ball. And if they're ever in doubt, hand it to him or get it to him. So you could get. That's what you look for when you're looking around about and you think, who am I going to give the ball to? Well, you'd always give it to Barry Ferguson, for instance, because he can play football, or any other one that can actually play football. But you don't get to the guys that don't really know which way they're looking. If you give it to a guy and all of a sudden he's facing his own goal, you might find a wee bit stupid stuff goes on and they blutter the ball out of the park, which is fine to a certain extent. But you always want to look for the guys who can play football because they're the ones who have the confidence through a team.
Oh, Blair, I'll put the second part of that question to yourself as well. Do you see anybody in their current squad that's got that motivation within them?
Nothing's obvious at the moment. Nothing's obvious. No, I don't see it. It's I can see glimmers of it in certain players, but again, it's consistency with him. Like Bajrami last night, showing you what he can do. If he can keep that consistently, he'll definitely inspire players. Definitely. But if he's only flashing the pan now and again, you get it. Nah, it's not good enough, mate. But no, I don't see it. I don't see it. It's just a will to win, mate. It's a will to win, and I don't see any of our players at the moment have got it. I just don't. It's a sad indictment, but it's a fact. Who you bring in, we'll see. When you're bringing people in, the first thing you would do is try to bury them with responsibility, bury them with, oh, you know who you're playing for, it's Glasgow Rangers, you know what's expected, you know, blah, blah, blah. Before you know what it is, the guy's not even got a strip on yet, and he's feeling the pressure and crushed under the pressure before he even puts a strip on. Instead of doing it the other way about motivating the guy when he comes in, telling him the opportunity he's got, telling him everybody's behind them, blah, blah, but build them up and let them go out and play and not have this pressure. But no, I don't see much yet. If there's anybody is that sort of figure will to win, they're hiding it well, mate. They're definitely hiding it well, because at the moment we're just a nothing team at the moment. Hoping that somebody's going to do something. If you look at the boy Asgard and people like that, it doesn't motivate me, just to fill me full enthusiasm. He comes onto the park and you look at him and go, what are you going to do? I mean, you shouldn't be saying that about your players. It's just simply it's not right. B. Arms come on last night, all right, he wins you the penalty. That's the sort of thing you're looking at. Even when he dived in front of that guy, he made sure he got in front of that guy, buying the guy puts a penalty kick. That's the sort of thing, wee things like that, but in bigger scale and more of, is what you're looking for. I don't see it. I don't, unfortunately. I'd like to say I do see it, but I don't.
Well, just before we have the tune, what I'll do is I'll put a question out to yourself, Albert and Bridge. You can give me your answers after the tune. And the listeners, while you're listening to this tune, have a wee think and phone in and give us your thoughts and your reasons. Who is the best motivator we have had in recent years? Have a think about it, enjoy the tune, and let us know your thoughts. Take it away, Fox, for the tune.
How many years ago, my boys, I left the Glasgow town. I followed the pull of the Yankee land and here I've settled down. Although I missed the Bridgeton Cross and my friends so near and dear, what I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bomb about your Broadway lights so clear. But if it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer if we only had the Rangers over here. For they're the finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. We're the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean this quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can buck of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bum about your Broadway life so clear. But if it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer. And we only had the Rangers over here. Finest team in all the land, and I'm sure that you'll agree. To see them win is something grand, it's part of history. We're the boys who fear no noise, my lads, and I mean this quite sincere. What I would give if I could have the Rangers over here. You can talk of California where the sun shines all the year. You can bomb about your Broadway life so clear. But it would fill my heart with gladness, it would fill my heart with cheer if we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here. If we only had the Rangers over here.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Cheers again for that, Fox. Feet chipping tune out there for all you guys listening. You back with us, Albert?
Aye. Yep, I'm with you.
So as I said, a wee question. Give us your thoughts, phone in, let us know, and give us your reasons. Who is the best motivator we have had in recent years? Albert, I probably expect quite a good range of options and names getting popped up here, possibly with generations and who's seen different players over the years. A few ones that came in during the tune was Graham Souness, John Gregg, Terry Butcher, Richard Gough, Barry Ferguson, Ian Ferguson. Have you had a time to think, mate? You get one?
All of them, mate. That's what I was thinking. All of them. Mine was Gough, Gorham, Gough, Butcher, Ian Ferguson, Stuart McCall, Ali McCoy, Mark Haitley, all these type players. I mean, that team, that itself, that team, that was just a team of winners, mate. Absolute team of winners. They didn't know where it was to get beat. It didn't matter what the score was, who they were playing. They were always up for it. So you can have one guy, Barry Ferguson will probably fit that. It's just a single player, motivational. But when you're talking about what I'm talking about and how to build a proper winning team, sustainable success, is it's the whole team, mate. It's more than one guy. You can't have just one guy. It's got to be 6, 7. Preferably the whole squad, but you'll never get that. But at least 6, 7, 8 guys within that squad that are the core. When they're in the team, you know, more times than not that you're winning. But as an individual, probably Barry Ferguson in recent memory is going to fit that bill what you're talking about. Graham Souness is the off-field one, definitely, absolutely, total winner, out and out winner. This is what we're lacking in the team. We're lacking in the club. not just the team. So wishy-washy people you've got. Like Thelwell and Stewart, wishy-washy, you know what I mean? They're no men, they're no like rock solid Rangers men. You're going on, they're not taking any nonsense off of anybody. They're just wishy-washy people. Oh, we hope we get it right. No, this crap, no, this, you've got to sit and listen to this. Well, say the Cabinet said that the boy Roll has got an edge to him that you don't really see in the public facing, but he's got an edge to him. I hope so. I definitely hope so, mate. But Ferguson for me.
Foxes went for Paul Gascoigne.
Again, inspirational with his talent. Absolutely, mate. He's better. Maybe I'm not a better football player. He could do things that any other player that in recent memories could do. He could take on a whole team himself.
He's certainly a character as well, and around the dressing room, whether he was playing or not, wasn't he?
Oh, he's a bampot. Let's call it out. He's a bampot, man. Total bampot. But what a player. Some player.
Oh, he certainly is. Certainly was. As I said, guys, keep your comments coming as well, and give us a phone and let us know as well who, for you, is the biggest motivator in recent years, whether it's a player or a manager. Give us your thoughts. We'll see what Bridgeman says as well when he joins us back as well. We'll see who he says, because as I said, there'll be possibly generations and different age groups might see players differently. For me, again, a generation thing, probably Barry Ferguson for me in recent years. You could look through the archives and see different players, but it depends on what you see that motivator is. Is it somebody that gets you by from a draw to a win? Is it somebody that just rallies the team when they're down? Is it somebody that can just do something brilliant with a football? It depends on what your definition of motivator is.
It's in the going gets tough, as they say. That's when a true motivator comes to their own. See, when you're winning 4-0 and all that, and what a goal scorer scores the 5th goal, you're going, well, that's great and dandy. But last night, when it's 2 each, who scores the 3rd goal? Winning 3-2. That's what you're looking for. These are the type of players you're looking for. Never say die players. We're winning this game, and you'll not win every game, but you win most of the games. This is the types of players. We're not getting beat. We're going to keep going. Look with your arms flying into that, getting that, winning that penalty. That's the sort of attitude you're getting. That's what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I'm looking for. He'll no lie down. We're going for we're 2-1 down. We as well go for this, and have the ability to get in there and make something happen. Okay, he wins the penalty. That's it. Bajrami steps up. I mean, don't get me wrong. He wasn't short of takers last night. Gasman was wanting to take it. I think was it Daniel or somebody else, or Shermetti, or somebody was wanting to take the penalty before Bajrami. It was Bajrami who went, no, I'm taking it. That's what he talks, standing tall, taking the responsibility. I like that. That's a good sign, mate. That is a very good sign. But let's see if they can keep it going. Let's see if they can build on it. This is the thing. But motivation. Somebody who does a will to win, mate. For me, that's what it is. So it's all about winning games, mate. It's all right just throwing about saying I'm a motivator. What's the score? Nothing each, but I'm a motivator. No, motivators win. Motivators get the team to win games. It's all about winning games.
Bridgeman, you back with us?
Yeah, indeed, pal. Yes.
You got a name for is your best motivator you've seen in recent years, player or manager?
Oh, you know, what can I say? Managers, well, for me, the latest manager that was really, really good and helped motivate was Gerrard. I thought Gerrard was excellent for Rangers. And before him, well, you've got Sir Walter, and before him, Souness. These are the guys.
You got to remember, Robert, Bridge can go all the way back. He was playing 5-a-side in the Arc.
I mean, these they could be. You know, I mean, Gerrard was, for me, he was just fantastic, and I'm really disappointed we never went and got him. No disrespect to the young man at Serra now, but I think he's a great motivator in football. Since he started playing football, he's been a great motivator. And Souness also probably the best off the pitch from a management perspective when he first came up. but his player manager, utterly brilliant. The Bears would have went anywhere for him. The Bears would, and no, they players would have fought night and day. Night and day, they would have fought for him. Absolutely. Sir Walter, well, what can you say about Sir Walter? He was just wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful for Rangers. Alex McLeish, these guys rubbed the players up. Jock Wallace, all these things. Get in there. Come on, you. You know. So on the pitch, well, I've said I thought Souness bossed virtually every game he played, he bossed it. What a fabulous player. Fabulous player. And who could forget Barry Ferguson in the midfield, the things he did for Rangers. Absolutely wonderful. And then Super Ali, for God's sake, how many goals can he score? And you could go there maybe 12 or 13 players that were at Ibrox running about the time Super Ali was there, and none more so than Mark Haitley. My God Almighty, he was unbelievable on the pitch. He ran through brick walls. He did everything. Marvellous player for the Rangers. And these are all inspirational, I'm saying. There's other players who were very inspirational. Gaza, who could forget Gaza? Who could ever forget Gaza getting booked for giving the ref his yellow card back and, and playing the flute, all that nonsense. He was just unbelievable, what a character. And that's a great inspiration. And the big German, just fantastic bomber. Absolutely wonderful, just wonderful. I'm going back, guys. I could go back all day, so I'll not bother these much longer. For me, Souness, and if you look along the back lines, you're to a great duo at the back. Big Butcher and Gough. They were brilliant for Rangers at back. John Brown. I'm just running these things right off my head here. Sorry, guys. These are all inspirational to me when I was watching my team. They were the team. They were the people that made it happen and carried us. They didn't win every game, but my God, they didn't have to put a shift in to do it. And well, is that enough? Do you want me to go?
No, as I said, mate, I said to Albert, it's a generation thing. There'll be people out there who can name teams, as Albert said, and some other names that have come in kind of echo what you're saying, Bridge. Yeah, Jock Wallace, Walter Smith, Loudrop, who else? Walter Smith again. There's a lot of names there. But as you say, Albert, you could name a full team many years ago. Now you're struggling to find maybe one in a full season.
Oh, you've not got one.
This is, but see, like some we're gauging what we're trying to build here at the present time. Let's stay in the present. What we're trying to build this is what you're trying to build. When the younger supporters are looking at a team that might have not seen any of these great players and great teams like that, this is what you're trying to build. It's men. It's not these boys and wishy-washy people. I call them wishy-washy people. They're neither here nor there. You can blow them out. A good win, we can blow them out. Things like that. You're wanting people real, true, gritty, never say die men. This is what you're looking for. You're looking at that team now. Wee Magoma, it's a wee boy. You're looking at Cherney, a wee boy. You're looking at enough of them. Even Raskin, that still acts like a wee boy. Diamandi acts like a wee boy. You're saying they're no men. They're not staying up to what they need to stand up to, and they'll never get that never say die attitude. We're not getting beat today. This is no chance. This is happening today. Doesn't matter who we're playing and what the circumstances are. Dodgy refereeing or no dodgy refereeing, it makes no difference. We're going to blast our way right through this. This is what you're trying to build. You're trying to build a full team like this. And what we're actually getting at the moment, you're getting Fernandes, boy. You're looking Jigger, boy. Goma, boy. It's no good, mate. Orange, boy. You're looking at them and saying, what are we getting here? Gasman, another boy. You're looking at Ant-Man, boy. You're saying these people should be men. This is what this project nonsense that we keep trying to put ourselves through. We're never going to be a club that's going to be allowed to have this nonsense. A project. You need to have a couple of boys within your squad, fair enough, but you're never going to get away with your full team full of wee boys. As McCoy said, put it so many times now. It's just the signings that we've done, especially this year, It's just all wee boys. And they act like wee boys, and they play like wee boys. And this is what you get. And we've all got to sit and suffer this. And now we as a supporter try to cobble together some reasonable suggestion that we might be successful. We're kidding. We know we're kidding ourselves on when we're talking like, oh, I don't give this and I'll do that. No, I don't know. They need to grow up fast, and they don't look to me if they're in any hurry to grow up. They're quite happy. Like you've got Matondo there. Nobody actually tells you why that boy's injured. What's the injured way? He's been out for nearly a year. He's on 30 grand a week. I think he's going to be caring. He'll just sit there and take the money. And then we'll sign this load of crap this summer. Most of them will stay and see their contracts out as well. They'll not want to leave. Some of them are clever enough to know that this is the biggest club I'm ever going to play for, so there's no way I'm getting this up easy. And it's no, but I'm going to prove that I'm the player that I should be. I'm just not going to give it up because this is the biggest club I'm going to play for. It's not right, mate. But the inspirational thing you were talking about, this is where it comes from, mate. People who actually act like men and conduct themselves like men. These boys don't. They conduct themselves as wee boys, as far as I'm concerned. How many times have you've seen us getting bullied off a park, all over the park? Seen it that many times in the last 10 years, getting bullied all over the place when you're sitting going, why are we putting up with that? And that's for the boardroom all the way onto the park. Time to stand up, mate. It's time to be. I mean, we all talk about Glasgow Rangers. It's time to be Rangers again, mate. It's time to be. We're not taking the crap off nobody. It's time to get the backbone back. I mean, that Stuart. I know I'm diverting, but that Stuart actually apologised to that scum across the city. He actually apologised to them. That's not the Rangers way, mate. Apologising to them, no chance. Absolutely no chance. That wee rat actually apologised to them half time in a game. That's not acceptable, mate. That's just not acceptable. Let's start getting the backbone back in the club, starting with all us. And in fact, the supporter actually showing a better backbone than the actual team is. Anyway, I'm away. You've got me ranting again, mate.
Can I just come in and say something else? Something else. This is in the very recent past, so in the last 15 years or so. I'd like to take my hat off to some of the guys that inspired me. The Three Bears. They saved the Rangers, saved their club, and my club, you call it what you like. They saved my club. And they convinced me I should be getting out and putting my money in. Dave King, people like that, they do it, you know. And I think, to me, they guys did fantastic for the Rangers. And I take my hat off to every one of them. Thanks for doing it. But we stood many queues for days in a row trying to get your tickets in and so on and so forth. Just incredible. But those were worrying times, very worrying times. And Ali McCoy, even although he was never the greatest manager for us, he's the man that turned in and says when he said Charles Green actually had made an arrangement or started to agree he was going to give up certain trophies because the Tims asked him to do it, you know. And Ali McCoy says, no, you don't do that. And Charles Green changed his mind, simple as that. All these trophies were won on the pitch, and these people were going to take it. And their cohorts that are still there in the SPFL and the SFA, they were going to let that happen. Well done, McCoys, for that. So these are some people that fought. Dave King, I know it didn't turn out very well. And a lot of people sort of went off him. I think he was just wonderful for the Rangers. He just came back to South Africa and he got tore right in, and he did the business and dragged us back. Obviously, we're still not quite back to the lights, the highlights are in the headlines that we had when we were maybe 12, 15 years ago. But my goodness gracious, he saved my club anyway, and I hope these Yanks are going to continue the job of saving my club and keep us going. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That's a good point, Bridge. You make Danny Rule during the week had said we need to bring in players that understand Rangers, but you make a point as well that we need to also have people who understand Rangers off the park as well. And you mentioned McCoy saying no because he knows what it means and tradition, history, and just ethic. the Rangers way, so to speak. So is it a time as well where we look at these off-field positions and say, we need to get the right people in, but do they need to understand Rangers as well as understand how to do the business?
I mean, see the people outside after that in the background, they only can do so much and talk to the players and blah, blah, blah. People keep going on about, like, I'll give you a couple of examples, and it does my head in. You're talking about the boy Thompson. Oh, the boy Thompson, they're talking about getting him in the academy, he wants to be Rangers manager, blah, blah. He's a Hibs supporter. He's not a Rangers man, he's a Hibs supporter. And he tells you he's a Hibs supporter. As far as I'm concerned, I know if he's on the Rangers TV, or you hear him talking about, at this club, you need to do it this way. You don't get away with that at this club, this club, this club. But the first chance he ever gets, he's always a Hibs supporter. I'm not interested in a Hibs supporter being in my academy. I'm not interested in a Hibs supporter being in my club. And then you look at McCann. McCann's a Hearts supporter. You know what I mean? You're sitting going, these people are no Rangers, man. Barry Ferguson's a Rangers supporter. Stuart McCall's a Rangers supporter. John Brown's a Rangers supporter. If you're going to bring people in, you need to bring the Rangers supporters in, and then just say what are you actually expecting them to do when they're in the club. Is he to tell you the history? To tell you, I mean, there's plenty of guys, non-playing staff, that could tell you the history of Rangers. Plenty of them in Ibrox. Very good at it as well. But if you're looking to instill the Rangers into well, it's going to start with the person himself. If the person themselves not a Rangers supporter, they're never going to be a Rangers supporter. That's what gets in my goat with that mob across the city. They're two recent successful captains of both Rangers supporters. Both of them are the Rangers, but they're no new. They're Celtic supporters now. So that's the difference, mate. When people come in that are non-Rangers supporters to Rangers to play for Rangers, they don't automatically become Rangers supporters. It's just a fact of life, and I don't want people in the club that's not a Rangers supporter because they've not got the club at heart. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's the way I look at it. I listen to Thompson, I listen to McCann, I listen to all them. They all know their football stuff. I'm not saying they don't know their football stuff, but they're no Rangers, man.
Somebody that does know their stuff and is a Rangers man is your Billy. Evening, Billy.
Yes, I certainly are that. I wouldn't say I know all my stuff right enough, but I'm certainly a Rangers man, definitely.
Trying to give you some credit here, mate. Come on.
Oh, listen, listen to the show there. In fact, before I came out, I'll share a wee munch with you. I was talking to Old School Blue there before I came on, and I was just talking to him. I was trying to explain something to him, and I had a big mouth for Peter Breedby roasted cheese and tap it, mate. I'm talking to him, and he's laughing and laughing in the background. Like, enjoy your food. I say, I can't get my point out, you know. But well, listen, this show's right up my street, guys. What you're talking about, I love that. See, Albert Bridgeman. Now you're talking, by the way, you're talking about character and football players that played with Glasgow Rangers. And man, I listened to one of a couple of questions he's asked about what players are, what do they bring to the team, you know, for attitude wise and all that, winners, you know. And I had a wee think there, right, and I grabbed the notepad and the pen, and I says, listen, everybody all talks about the obvious ones like your Gazas and your Laudrups and Davy Coopers and, you know, Sounissies and all that, right? And we all understand the reason for that. So I thought to myself, no, I'm going to try and pick a Rangers team, or go through a Rangers team, should I say, with guys that weren't big names, but they were all winners. And I tried to make sure that they all had winners' medals, right? League winners' medals, Scottish Cups, you know, and they played with Rangers in different areas, throughout the years. So if you just bear me, I'll bounce this Rangers team out, and you can tell me what you think of the Rangers team, right?
Aye, fair away.
It's a 4-4-2, right? It's a 4-4-2. This is where it is, right? And my goalkeeper was the Dutchman Vateris, right? Wasn't a big name, but he played with Stefan Kloss around about that time, and he shoved him out the road to come into that team. Exactly what Albert was talking about, right? My right back would be Jimmy Nicholl, Northern Ireland international, played with Manchester United, brilliant football player, played with Glasgow Rangers, loved it, got it, won medals. An unsung hero Sasa Papac. What a player he was. Went about his job, tidy on the ball, could tackle, great strong mentality, could get up and down, brilliant. Big Spanish centre-half, Carlos Cuellar, went to Manchester, and Walter brought him in. You know, we didn't hear him for long to see the best in him. He got sold on, and I would play Big Lee McCulloch in there aside him. What an attitude Big Jig had, you know, a Rangers captain. And then I go into my midfield, you know, I've picked one out of the Dick Advocaat era, Claudio Reyna, the American. What a player he was, what an attitude he had. Different class. And then the late great Ray Wilkins, Butch Wilkins. What a football player he was for the time we had him. Different class, ability, all the ability in the world. Attitude, temperament, professionalism, you know, just had it all. And another one, right? Pedro Mendes. How good a football player was he in that midfield and all. And I'm going to throw a wee spanner in the Vice here. And that's exactly what I said. Vladimir Vice, that young laddie, came to Rangers on loan. But what an attitude he had for a loan player. And he got it as well. And my two up front would be Marco Negri, for all the time he was at Rangers as well. You know, came in there, hit the ground running, got it, and then unfortunately, you know, the rest was happened with the squash ball incident type thing. And then Nikica Jelavic up front. Every one of the players they weren't the big name players, but every one of them got it, and every one of them knew what Rangers were all about. And there were only one Scotsman in the team. And I would believe maybe two Rangers supporters out of that team. I don't know what you think of that team, gentlemen.
Some good names in there, mate. Some good players as well. And as you said, it's over the eras. Probably the most noticeable thing is what's the most recent 13 years. It's probably the most recent player you've got in. Is that right?
Aye, roughly, mate. Aye, roughly. I tried to keep it. I tried to put it as far back as my memory would take me, or allow me to take me through to gain my Bridgeman age away. But so that's how I went with the likes of Ray Wilkins, Jimmy Nicholl type thing. And I tried to keep it right up to date, but just pick it up there, maybe run about I'm just looking there when I look back through the team to the Jelavic time, that'd be run about administration type, but run about that era, that's my thinking on the team, eh?
I'll go to Albert and then Bridge and get their points on that, mate. Albert?
Oh, I'd play that team they do. Would actually.
Can I get a game?
let's be honest about it. No, I mean, you're talking about cracking players in there. You're talking about one of my favourites, Mendes. What a football player. Ray Wilkins, what a football player. Football brain. If I had them in the midfield, I know that would do me nicely, mate. Really nicely. Yellow Fitch up front with Negri. Negri was the best goal scorer I've ever seen. Never scored as many goals as Ali for obvious reasons, but he's the best finisher I've ever seen. Good pal of Southside's is Negri. Good team, mate. Very good team. Any one of them can walk straight into this team. Any one of them. It's unbelievable if you think about it. Any one of them.
Well, I don't think any of our team at the moment would walk into that team. That's for sure.
No chance. They wouldn't even go to the bench, mate. They wouldn't even go to the bench. But so I'll let Bridge have a go.
For me, we're just in general talking about the team that was selected.
Aye.
Look, absolutely superb. Well done, by the way. How long did that take you? Don't tell me 1 minute.
Well, Bridgeman, the time I flipped 2 slices of Peter Breed, mate, I had that team picked.
There you go, pal. There you go. Well, these are people. Obviously, they were at your prime. That was the Rangers team. Run about the time you were really going and seeing the Rangers and enjoying it. Is that correct?
I run about them, Bridgeman,
yeah,
but
okay.
I could have went maybe back to the 70s, mate. But you know, I can remember watching Alec McDonald, Tommy McLean and that playing as well. You know, I remember the big Northern Irishman when I was a laddie going to Ibrox away back in
McClellan.
John McClellan, I remember him playing with the Rangers and all. You know, I mean, Alan Kennedy was another and played centre forward. And I think back to Alan Kennedy, the days of Alan Kennedy, and I look at that big boy, Chermiti the new, and I'm going like that. We used to murder that big Alan Kennedy when he played with Rangers, and I says, he'd be shoving him out the road to get in the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you look
And
back
how?
there, so, you know, when you think of all the different players away back then, you know, another one that could, what was his name? The red-headed fella. Is it McKinnon? That played it right back. Was it Ray McKinnon?
Aye.
Ray McKinnon.
Davy McKinnon, no?
Davy McKinnon, aye, Davy McKinnon. He gave it everything to, you know. He was like Jimmy Nicholl, man. He was the only right back I ever seen playing the Rangers. They could pass the ball to themselves up that touchline. They could just knock that ball right up that line and go on a 20-year burst, and they would get the ball back, and the ball wouldn't go out the park. They could hit the ball that straight, you know. And we've got you're talking about players who now playing that Rangers team. They couldn't pass it 20 inches, never mind 20 yards. You know what I mean?
So true, so true. You're embarrassing, isn't it?
Billy, how many slices of bread could it take to butter to name a team
exactly,
from your last entry to now?
What's that, sorry?
How many bits of bread could you butter between your most recent being 12, 13 years up till now?
No enough.
I don't know. I maybe need to get Big Stevie to give me a hand. We could get maybe a couple of slices of plain bread out, mate. A couple of money big king bloomers or something. A big cheese bloomer or something.
Does that highlight
the raging, by the
way? Does that highlight that for a number of years, almost 15 years or so, that we've maybe not had that motivation, leadership, and we've got teams here who have been in cup finals, a European tournament, a cup final in Europe, of course, as well. But you would be struggling to put them in a team, Billy.
Aye, that's right. 100% correct here. You know, I mean, we can look back to the just after admin time, like, you know, and Super Ali took the Rangers and such forth. And I mean, one of the players there that played under Walter Smith, the late great Walter, God rest him, was Big Jig McCaw. And then he played with Rangers in the third division as well. You know, so even then there was
he was a captain. He was a captain.
That's right. That was just what I was going to say, Bridgeman.
They played him at centre forward. He scored the fucking million goals.
Aye. You know what I mean? That's just, you know, that was the attitude that Big Lee McCulloch had. You know, and listen, let's not forget Lee Wallace as well.
Of course, we're captain.
You know, another captain, you know,
absolutely.
You know, Big Lee Wallace was another great big player. Obviously, played in a good Rangers team and all, but he was a winner and he was a leader as well. You know, it's unfortunate circumstances. Well, obviously, listen, if we're no in inner circle there, we'll never know what happened. You know, but there's players like him as well. You know, but when you look at it for then, and then you could touch on the likes of maybe when Gerrard came in. And had the likes of, you know, with Stephen Davis.
Right.
You know, so you had that kind of mentality, that kind of professionalism in the Rangers team around the Gerrard era. So I would go to then, but I'm struggling to pick up on anybody since then that's really come in and had the temperament, the proper temperament to play with Rangers. You know, I love what Albert talks about, you know, Raskin's running about. I'm a great lover of Raskin, you know, but Albert's bang on the money because he runs about and he tries to do too much. He's like Tavernier. They're trying to do your own job. Maybe that's the reason they're running about doing everybody else's job, because there's there's no other players in there, that's capable of playing their roles. You know what I mean? So when you look at it from that perspective, you could say, "Aye, right, okay, then you could maybe cut them a wee bit slack here," but I'm struggling to find players since Gerrard. You could maybe argue the case, well, with what about the team that went to Seville, you know. You know, you could maybe argue the case with they guys for going in there, and Alan McGregor, perfect example, you know what I mean? You know, you could take a great argument on that one, but even if that one, you throw that one into the hat, take that one back out the hat, then I'm struggling to find anybody else, you know. And that's what's sadly missing at Rangers.
In the current squad, Billy, do you see him that's got that in them to show it?
I don't know, mate. To be honest with you, no really, mate. No really. There is I was listening to Albert as well, and also I didn't want to steal his thunder. But there is slight snippets there, mate. People that are, you know, that are prepared to put their bodies on the line type thing, you know. But I mean, you look at Cornelio, no, Mikey Moore, Owen, so we'll just cut Majowski. He worked hard last night. Gassama, O'Dowell, Antman, Matondo, Chermiti, no chance. You know, Finlay Curtis, Rangers boy, I would give that lad a chance, you know. Bailey Rice and Aryan, you know, Raskin, we know what you get with Raskin. Lyle Cameron's no got a Bajrami's maybe showed me flashes. Theo Asgard, sorry. All the natural ability in the world, but has he got the mental toughness to back it up here? You know, is it just because he's a young boy, and he's playing here, and he's maybe not just worked Rangers out yet. Only time will tell in that, man. Diamondi, he's just digressed so much, it's incredible as far as I'm concerned. He just looks as if he's running about like a headless chicken now. Connor Barron, he's everything. Then you could go through the back line, you know. Sterling, you could maybe give Sterling maybe pass marks. He's maybe got the attitude to drive people on. You didn't see Suter shouting and ball. Cornelius, maybe hear something about him. James Tavernier, well, that's it. He's a captain, you know, but I don't see nothing there, mate. So Jack Butland, you know, it's a hard one, mate. You know, we're needing a full. I think we spoke about it the other night. We need a nucleus of that spine back in that Rangers team, because I can't see a spine in the Rangers team. You know, I think Southside said he'd be looking for 3 experienced players, and I said 5. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. 5 experienced professionals coming in that know what football is all about. You know, to try and nurture these young laddies through these hard times. You know, who the 5 guys are that's available that would come in and fit the criteria and the standards of Rangers. That's a completely different question. So, I mean, I said 5 experienced players. I don't know what your thoughts are on that one. You know, into positions, a couple of centre halves, a couple of midfielders, centre mids.
That's what it boils down to, Albert, isn't it? Billy's right. It boils down again to the old topic of recruitment. I said in a previous show, in January, I know it's a tough window, but if you can, for me, a minimum of 4 starters. And it is that kind of spine of your team, centre half, midfield, and a striker. I know it's a difficult window, but I'd be saying minimum of 4. How about yourself, Albert? And then Bridge.
Possibly 4, possibly 5. One thing we need to get in our head before we go too far with this, and everybody's put a hell of an emphasis on January. We ain't sorting this in January. We need to get this into our heads. It's not going to be possible. And whoever's coming in, we're going to put too much pressure on them to say, right, change the team, make it better, just do it. You just need to settle down and say to yourself, no, hold on. The big problem with this team and the current team right now that will go it, there's too many players in the team that are head somewhere else. Look at Butland. Butland wanted to come up here to kickstart his career and be an England, get back into the England team. Tavernier's staying, he's a captain, right? You look at Jigger, he's no our player. I mean, he's got back to his parent club. You look at Fernandes, he get dragged out of lower divisions. He's thinking they'll come up here and there's a chance, an outside chance I might get the Championship or maybe even the Premiership. You look at the left back we go, he's not our player either. You look at Raskin. Raskin's always said for day one he wants to play somewhere else. You look at Diamondi, the exact same. He wants to play somewhere else. We Barn, he wants to be at Ibrox. He's at the pinnacle of his career. He's not going any further. Barron, he's at the club that he's never going to play for a bigger club or get a better chance in his career than he has got right now. You look at Bajrami, he's talking about the Premiership as well. You look at Chermati, he's wanting to play in the Premiership. Miowski, he was a bailout to get away from a disastrous move to Italy. And so every one of them, you can right through the whole squad, every one of them, most of them have not got their mind on Rangers. It's always somewhere else. So you can't build that team spirit into that. You can't get this never say die attitude with a group of players that practically 50-50 want to be here. They don't, I'm not that bothered. I don't think I'll be here. I want to be somewhere else. Or I'm going somewhere else because this is not my club and I'm going back to my parent club. So to that point of view, it's difficult, really difficult. And I think Kavanagh was hinting on that. We've done too many loans. We went heavy on the loan market. I think he's realised that. He said it out loud, so he has realised it. But at the end of the day, if you're wanting to build a team, and this is the thing I keep saying, like Chermati, just as an example, we do get him to play well. He becomes a star player. He's off. He's gone. So why would we just providing players for other teams? We're just making players better and then off they go. We don't get any time with them. We don't get to enjoy them. We don't get any success, long-term success I'm talking about. We won a couple of trophies and then they're off and then we've got to start the whole process all over again with the next project player. I don't know about you, but I didn't sign up for this with Rangers. That's not what I'm looking for. Rangers to be a project team, just developing players for the Premiership. I can't stand the Premiership, as you've probably guessed before. I don't like it. I think it's the worst thing that's ever happened to football. But anyway, that's another argument for another day. So as far as I'm concerned, to build the team, you need to get permanent players in place, the right players in place, and start building the team. You need to look at Curtis. You need to look at Rice. Now, if these boys are going to make it, they need to do something within themselves to make it. You can't just depend on somebody going to say, one day come into Ibrox and say, I think I'll give that boy a chance. You've got to be crashing the door down. You've got to make it impossible for them to ignore you. At the moment, everybody jollies along it. That's all I see right enough. I don't see them at training every day in life. I just see them in match days and wee training videos. But as far as I'm concerned, if it was my career, I'd be back on the door. Then I'd be saying, right, I want a game. Put me on the park, show you what I get. Oh, blah blah blah. I've said it all before. But this is the way you build teams. This is the way you get people with character into your team. They need to show character. You don't install character into anybody. They either got it or they've not got it. And at the moment, none of the players that I see show any character. Alfie played for us. He'd plenty of character. He would run through a brick wall at you and he would cause a fight in an empty house. You know what I mean? But he'd character. He's definitely, you knew he was on a football park. Some of these players are on the football park. Like Danilo last night, you forgot he was on the park. Asgard, he's come onto the park before and you forget he's actually on the park. There's too many players like that. They need nothing about them. No men, no nothing about, no dig, no, oh, I'm here, I'm making an impact. Nothing like that. So as far as I'm concerned at the moment, we're miles away from it, but we're depending on January too much, mate. We're hope. And we always say it's a bad window to do transfers. It's a difficult window to do transfers, and not impossible, but difficult. But what we expecting, really, truly, what we expecting in January? All I would say is if we get 2 or 3 midfielders, then it would make a difference. Fox thinks it's centre halves, but there you go. We'll agree to differ. But who knows? We're going to get some players in, I dare say, but how much of a difference it's going to make? My expectations are no through the roof, aren't we?
I don't think there's anybody out there, albeit that's under the illusion that all the issues will be solved in January. But what you can do in January is start to solve the issues, and I'll bring Bridgman in. It's an opportunity to refresh the squad. Obviously, we need to get players out. We've mentioned a few on the show tonight are just sitting comfortable in wages, and they will. Let's be honest. Again, we're under no illusion they'll sit tight and see their contract run down, not playing, getting the money because they know they're not going to get that at their next club. But if we can, we need to get players out to bring some players in that can add to the squad and get us out this feeling that we're in. As I said, it won't solve all the issues, but you can certainly make a start.
Well, can I just say that when I was a young man, it's a while ago, my greatest ever player for Rangers was Jim Baxter, and I thought the world of Jim Baxter, and of course, I think everybody, well, every Rangers fan idolised him, and he carried Rangers for a number of years. But the next man to come in, it was given. We're talking from an inspiration perspective. It was really inspirational for Rangers. Was Colin Steen, and I remember, I think it was 60 or 69. They signed for us. I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. If somebody could maybe tell us. My God, I was jumping up and down in the house when I got £100,000. Here we go. And what I was going to say about that is Rangers used to have the power and the money to walk out, and virtually every player in Scotland wanted to play for the Rangers. If Rangers came a knocking, they very rarely ever get refused. Maybe they wouldn't go to Celtic anyway to get a player, but nearly every team wanted Rangers money. Now it's not the same, different times. But they were two major inspirational signings for Rangers, and that carried us for another decade, And these are the kind of things we're looking for. I'm not saying we're going to walk out and get an Colin Steen or a Jim Baxter. I don't mean anything like that. But we're looking for players that can inspire the existing players that we've got, because I don't think, in all honesty, we're going to bring in a complete squad replacement. We're going to have, I would suggest, maybe 5 players are going to come in, but they've got to be in key positions, and they must be good players in that position. No nonsense about, we're thinking about them here. No, you've got to bring them in. If you're going to get a couple of centre halves in, get them in. We could certainly do with them. Even with the 2 guys that are in there, he's going. One of them's going, isn't he? He's on loan. So with Big Fernandez, and you can bring somebody else in, make sure one of them's a left footer. No matter what happens, make sure one of them kicks with a left, because we can't do a weak side over there. So that's all I can say. They're massive players for us, centre halves, midfielders. But I mix them in there, and if you can grab it one striker in, get them in. I've got to be able to play football.
Aye, of course. And just as we head towards the last 15 minutes or so, if you've got a point or a question out there, come join us. 0141 356 1972. Obviously, foremost, there's still football games to be played. We've got to deal with the squad we've got. And the next journey under Danny Rule is an away trip to Kilmarnock on Saturday night. And for some reason, an 8 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday night is beyond me. But how do you see it going, mate? Tough fixture away to Killie, as we know. They're not in the best of form. They also drew with Hearts last night, 1 each. But Saturday night, December night, on an artificial pitch.
Well, listen, as you rightly said there, it's always a hard game down there. But it all depends. When you look back over the years when Rangers have been down there, it all depends how we start. Yeah, that's another thing I know. Mate, this is what I keep stressing. I'm sure Allbear will be, and Bridgeman will be, I'll echo my thoughts. Probably, and I'm sure yourself as well. We're going down there. We're going down there. You're going down there. Say they could be doing this. They could be doing that. We shouldn't be going down there to say that. We shouldn't be in that mindset to go down there and say, "Oh, listen, it's always a hard place to go." We know it's a hard place to go, right? But we've got to go down there and let them worry about us. We shouldn't be going down there to worry about what they're going to do. We should be going down there to let them worry what we're going to be doing. And when we get down there with that mindset, and when we get into the dressing room and we come out, and you normally can tell within the first 10, 15 minutes of that game down there how the game's going to swing, And when Rangers get down there and we're on the front foot and we're going down there, right, we're going down here to do there, we're going down here to get 3 points, we've got to batter them, and we're coming back up the road. And we get down there and we do that. That's when we get down there and get the victory, But it's a crazy time. Back to your point, mate, 8 o'clock, bonkers time on Saturday night. That'll be all down to the TV. I mean, there'll be people in pubs up and down the country, steaming drunk at that time of night. There'll be boys going to the game. They'll you know, they want to go for a few beers before the game like you normally do, you know, etc., etc. But to play the game at 8 o'clock at night, mate, that's a. I don't know who's sat in a warehouse somewhere in a wee dark room and made that one up, you know, but because that's absolute bonkers. You know, probably the same idiots. Probably the same idiots that run bar.
How not to showcase your game, eh? A December night, 8 o'clock on a plastic pitch down at Kilmarnock, eh?
I know.
This is my showpiece game.
Aye, make it make sense, Albert. You know what I mean? This is the brains and the mentality, Albert, that's running our game. You know what I mean? This is where we're at. You know, I mean, Stevie Wonder could see what's going on here. You know what I mean? But just to touch on a few of your other points as well, Mucker, regarding, I mean, these players, if they're coming with a 50-50 attitude, they're coming here to Rangers to say, well, you know what, I'm just got to go up there, make a couple of pounds for myself. I'll no matter if I win anything or no, because I'm getting a cracking wage. I'll go up there, I'll line my own pockets, and basically it doesn't matter if I get anything in return anyway, so I'll be quite happy because my bank balance will be the one at the end of the day. It doesn't matter about the supporters. So we need to stop that right away. So how to stop that right away? You've got to say, well, you look at the people who brought them in, you know, and then you look at the managers. Perfect example. Russell Martin turns around and says, I looked at the players' eyes to see what they've got, if they've got any fire in their belly, etc. What an absolute pile of absolute dog excrement that was. You know, I'd like to know who actually looked him in the eye for him to come to get that job in the first place. Never mind for him to look the players in the eye to give the players a game at the Glasgow Rangers. You know, I mean, you've got to hate professional football players there, mate. And I mean, dyed in the wool professional, old school pros that know the game inside out. You know, and they know how to conduct themselves on and off the park. And the young players round about them look up to them and see what they've done in the game or how they go about their day-to-day business as a professional football player. And when these young players or so-called players think they're coming in here for a free ride, these old school pros are just pulling them out the side and saying, no, wee man, that's not the way you do it. You know, you may be up here for a hang at Rangers and you think you're this, you think you're that. We'll just bring you back down a peg or two. And that's the only way to do it, because if we keep bringing in these players with that attitude, with no structure round about them, then it's only going to keep snowballing and getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. You know, and we've got to keep going round in the same circles like we have been doing for long enough, you know. I mean, sometimes it's like, okay, mate, you know, we're in, we're out, they're playing, they're not playing, they're turning it on, they're not turning it on, you know what I mean? It's absolutely bonkers, you know? Bonkers it is.
Then you come over.
Aye, it's the attitude is their attitude, mate, isn't it? So we can't argue. I mean, some of the players are just they're indifferent to it. They're just okay, if I play well, I play well. If I don't, I don't. It's not really that important, is it? But to us, we're all going mental on the sidelines because it's important to us. We're all passionate and want our team to do well, but you're watching a guy going through the motions. I just don't get it, mate. I mean, Bajrami is a good example. Where has he been? I mean, he's sitting there and going like that. All of a sudden, he can play football again. And we all knew he could play football. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to play football. You asked the question, I asked the question. And the answer that I'm coming up with is it's only because the national team manager said something about the situation. He finds himself at Rangers. All of a sudden, he's, I better do something here. Plus, there's a World Cup. I don't know if they're qualified for the World Cup. But all of a sudden, they all want all these players all become players again because the World Cup's on the horizon. So it tells you they've been swinging the lead. That's what it tells me anyway. They've just been swinging the lead. You don't be caring. They've just been sitting in the background taking your wages and no caring a jot. Not a jot do you care. And I don't want players like that at the club. I don't want any member of staff at the club that's got that attitude. Because the club means everything to us, all our lives. And it's going to continue to mean everything to us the rest of our lives. So as far as I'm concerned, I want somebody to feel for the club that I feel for the club, who's working for the club. It's 100% every day, and no matter what position you're in. and especially the football players. And I don't see it. I simply don't see it. I see players that's hiding. I see players that don't want to be there. They like the lifestyle, they love the lifestyle, but they don't particularly want to do much to maintain it or justify it. But that's I dare say other clubs all through the countries get players like that. Too much, too soon, too easy for them. Way too easy for them. If you could start being able to rip contractors up, you'd actually see players given a job now, a fair chance to say, look, we're just going to rip your contract up because we don't believe that you're not trying a leg. It's a bit harsh, I know, but still, it's the way you feel at times, isn't it?
Bridgeman, it's like any other job. If you're not doing your job, then you shouldn't get paid the money. And these players are quite happy to be paid the money and not do the job, and there's far too many within that squad. I know we had an overhaul in the summer, but there's still far too many that has got that attitude and temperament, and that's what we need to try and reduce and get out and bring players in that are willing to do the hard work when they go and get stuff.
Yeah, like I think we all agree, certainly on this panel anyway, I think we all agree just what we think's happening. And some of the players that are going to come in, I mean, at Christmas time, they've got to be better than the ones we've got. If we've got players that don't want to actually play for us, we're in deep trouble. And we need to, how do we move them on? Obviously, we've got to do it within the rules and regulations. But I'm sure if anybody come out and says right now what players they wouldn't want in the squad, then you could double it. Have pick 3, you could pick 6, that kind of thing. That you just don't like. They don't like it as if they're going to do anything for Rangers, and that's quite a sin. I just want our Rangers, our club, to be as best it can be, and we're not going to get there until the mob that owns it, the owners, put some extra cash in and give us a chance to clear out the dross that they've allowed to come into a club. Because that's the way I look at it. Some of the players that are in our club have not this level, at the level that we play at. They're not at that level in their own, and probably never will be. They'll probably never be fit enough and good enough quality-wise to play for the Rangers. And that we don't want that. We want people that are good, can play football and want to play football for the Glasgow Rangers. That's what we want. It's up to the big fellas up the top to go and get all that, get it sorted. Forgive me, that's the way I look at it. It's quite cut and dried for me. And I understand fully that it might not be quite cut and dried for everybody because we don't have the dosh to do this, that, or the next thing, But
that's the thing, Bridge. The money can be there to go and get the players. It's just about getting the right players in. But we'll need to leave that for another night because we've reached that time of the show, would you believe? So last word from yourself, Billy. Cheers for joining us again, mate. Always a pleasure.
Any problem, mate. Thanks for taking my call, gentlemen. Good talking to yourself for a wee hour there. And Paul Bridge, good stuff. Listen, no saying it is what it is. You know what I mean? We soldier on again, limp, wounded and battered and bruised, But the difference with us is we keep pulling our socks back up and we keep going for it again, you know what I mean? Let's just hope the players have got the mindset and can try and buy into 10% of the attitude and hunger and love we've got for Glasgow Rangers. And then if they've got that, they've gained themselves a wee platform to build on, But aye, mate, it is what it is. And thanks for taking my call. And we are the people.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate your call. Always a pleasure, as I said, mate.
No bother, pal. Cheers, lads. Good night.
See you later,
Good night. Final word from yourself, Albert.
Aye, good to be on yourself, Bridge, Billy, background staff. It was one of the nights again, mate. We got a draw, so we're coming in with a wee bit of a downer, but still, look on the bright side. It only can get better, I suppose, mate. It only can get better. But onward and upward to the Rangers. See you next week.
Cheers, mate. Always a pleasure, as always. And final word from yourself, Bridgeman.
Oh, great show, by the way. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Some wee walks down memory lane for a lot of folk that are listening in. they've got their own opinions of our club and some of the players we've had in the past, and the great inspirational players. They've got their own choices, and it's great to have all that with Rangers. Can I just say a big thank you very much to yourself, Robert, and of course Albert carrying me through this, and the techie boys in the background, but particularly to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world. Massive game coming up by the weekend. Massive game. We need to get ourselves back in line. Admittedly, we're still undefeated in 5 games or 10 games or whatever it is. So even although we drop points, but we've got to get back online again if we're ever going to get even second place in this league. That's where we want to be. Because of course we want to be first time. No, but it doesn't look as if we're going to get there. However, we will always strive, but we've got to get at least second. So everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us, and so do they.
Cheers, Brisbane. Always a pleasure, mate. Can I just thank yourself, Silver and Bridge, for joining me doing the show this evening? As I said, always a pleasure. And as you said, mate, a wee trip down memory lane for a lot of folk of the night, something different. Thanks to Billy for joining us and calling in. Again, contributions always appreciated. Fox and Old School Boy for doing the technicals, and of course, everybody out there listening. And thanks for contributing on the Facebook feed and the YouTube feeds. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back again tomorrow night at 8 PM as we look ahead towards Saturday's fixture against Kilmarnock. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night. Take it away, Fox.